Welcome back to the channel and the first episode of the year. If you don't know by now, I'm Matt Nelson and this is Acura Developments. So, what a year it's been last year. Don't years go too quick? So the plan for this year, we've got some big plans. Some of you that do follow me on social media, I have opened up a new company earlier last year called Acura Homes. So the plan is for this year, it's to carry on with obviously Acura Developments, construction firm, showing you the day-to-day running of the firm, doing extensions and new builds and whatnot, and also taking it on the journey of Acura Homes. So my plans for this year is carry on with construction, but do our own developments. So I want to buy land or at least get everything signed this year. It's a big year and it's going to take a lot of effort. It's not something that's going to be easy. But yeah, I'm willing to go through it. So as you see, I'm in my new office. Nothing special. So we built this back early in the year, just a little office in the unit, just so I can kind of concentrate and run the business properly. So what are the plans for this week? So we are carrying on with the roof build up in Tarvin. So we have got a GAP style roof going on that. And then one in Kingsley is still going. No tradesmen are there, but we've got the last part of that job, the renders going on. And at the minute, I think it's -3, -4. And then we'll be starting 2 new builds in Tarvin, probably about February, March time, somewhere around there. So yeah, looking forward to it. Good plans. So yeah, I'll pass you to Ben and Cal. I'll see what they're doing today.
So I'm just going to make the frame for the infinity light in the roof. I'm going to knock it up out of some 2x2. I'll build it all down here and then Cal will be up on there and he's going to fix it all in place. So let's crack on.
So it's Thursday and look at it, it's white. And I've had a bit of running around to do some more, so I've been to Widnes, I've picked up a load of GRP, materials, trims, mesh, all the rollers, ready for the lads to probably start Monday, Tuesday, depending on how the weather gets on. And then I've just nipped down to the office now, so it wasn't really a great start today. I got here about an hour ago, went to load the van up with some stuff, and then got stuck. I have to dig myself out. I was going to ring the lads, but I know what, I'll get down the phone. Nah, unlucky. So, dug myself out. And now we're all right. So, right, let's get into the office. So it is a rough time of year for the building trade, the winter. You know, luckily December was all right, but January, February, it is always cold or rainy. And it just slows the building trade down. So if you're thinking about having building work done, especially anything outside like extension, then that builder will put a bit of more money on that, obviously because the job is slowing down and it does take longer. I reckon on average the job probably takes an extra 2 weeks longer just due to the cold. So when it's cold like now, you can't lay, meaning bricks, block work, it's got to be at least 2 and rising. Like today, this morning it was -7. For example, on that job in Tarvin where the lads are, the roof, the GRP, it's got to be laid, rolled on if you want to call it, between 10 and 20 degrees. So it's things like that that you just can't crack on with, and then you got to try look at alternate ways how to work. So the plan for next week is to start rolling on the actual GRP, 5-glass. But if the weather has given it bad, we will adjust plan to start the internal work, so the steel work. Now, just see what the weather does. And it is that time of year where it's like, you're constantly changing plans, constantly, and just is what it is. I'm in the office today. I'm just looking in more detail at that 2 build project that will be starting in February time. And then just all paperwork. And it's my second day in my office, and I'll be very honest, it's very seedy. There's no windows, it's dark. So I've just found a window in the unit. I'm going to put a window in here. So made up. So yeah, let's go.
So the snow has stopped and we're cracking on with the roof. So the first strips are going on. They're almost done now anyway. And then once they're on, start putting the first layer of OSB onto the roof. Throughout the whole thing, cutting around the upstands for the roof lantern, and then continue on building up. So it's 80mm OSB, vapor barrier, 6-inch kingspan insulation, and then 18mm interlocking boards as well, before the GRP fiberglass roof. So let's get cracking with the roof makeup. This roof is slightly different to all the other flat roofs that we've done recently. So this has got a hidden gutter. So this is going to be like a trough. So the roof will come along, it'll step down in, and then it'll have an upstand on the outside face where you can see here. And then what it'll do then is it'll run down to that end of the build where we'll have the outlet down into the to the gully. So the first layer of OSB is down, and then we're on to the second / third layer, which is the vapor barrier and the 6-inch insulation. So put the vapor barrier down and work in sections and bring it through with the insulation office to hold it down. A little bit of wind and it just goes woof. See you later. So it's working on with that now, and then after all this, be on to the final layer. Step is to create the trough for the rainwater to go into. So we'll do an upstand on the inside to close off the insulation and keep the roof warm, and then start with the underside, and we'll have other furrows running from left to right going to get rid of the water down to the downpipe. So let's see how this one goes. Hey. That'll be alright like that, Carl. That's the right size.
The next one is 3 through 3.
So it's Monday and I'm back on site this morning just to give the lads a bit of a push. So the plan is we're carrying on with this GRP roof. So as you can see, all the trims are going on. So you get a few different trims when you're doing your GRP roof. It's important to get the right one. So we've got the edging ones that obviously go around the edge. We've got the drip trim and the fillet. So we've got fillet trims going around the roof lantern, and then the drips that are going to obviously take the water into our trough, which obviously runs from one end of the build to the other into the run outlet. So that's the plan, and then later this afternoon, depending on the weather, we're going to start getting the mesh down. So when you buy the system, you get like, it's like a fiberglass mesh. We're going to mesh all the joints, so that's all the board joints, all the junctions, get that mesh, and then your first coat of GRP. And then tomorrow we GRP the first coat all over it, and then it's basically the top coat after that. So yeah, there's quite a lot in it, but this is definitely without doubt the best roof system to do at the minute. But it is a bit dearer. So yeah, that's the plan for basically till about Wednesday. Then we're going to start doing the steel work and start getting that propped. See stuff.
Fucking this. Don't film it.
It's very hard to approach because he's like say he goes to no film.
So as I explained earlier, these are the bandages that you start when you're putting your mesh down. So you always do your joints. So as you can see, we're doing all the interlocking boards and all around the edges. So if you look at Cal, you put your first layer on first, you mesh on, and then you paint your other layer on top, and that's when you run over it then with your metal roller, just to make sure all the fibres are nice and flat. So yeah, that's the plan for today, and then tomorrow we can get the big, you use like a bigger roller mesh then, and then that goes over the top, and then everything is bang on nice and watertight. But yeah. I'll just say that.
One done.
Just about to mix up first batch of resin, ready for the big bandage strips to start going on. And
We're going to give it a good crack.
yeah, we're going to try and get it all boxed off today. In fact, it needs to be boxed off today, really. All in one go.
Stop tomorrow then.
Yeah, no, top coat's not coming to stop till tomorrow, so I can't do it till Wednesday.
It is Wednesday tomorrow.
It's not coming to stop till Wednesday, so I can't do it till Thursday. Information from the
Higher
higher powers. So yeah, let's get cracking with this. Bye. This is going to come hard at the bottom. It's like push the bottom of the bucket out. Unless it's stuck under it. I actually don't think anyone's got stickier hands than me.
And he just went, bye bye.
So we are back for round two. So the first thing that we're going to do is get my name out there so no one knows and no one's heard of me at Acura Homes. So I'm going to spend the day today going around to estate agents and introduce myself and see if they've got anything that they want me to have a look at. So that's the plan for today.
We are just about to rip out the kitchen. Pretty much half it's been done already. Shout out to the customer. We're doing this because we're currently just waiting for the morning dew on the roof to dry. Let's see how we get on.
So obviously there's a wall upstairs and we thought it carried on. And it sounds pretty hard, like it's blockwork. So we measured from the existing gable wall through to here, went upstairs, and there's a difference of about 300 mil. So I thought, oh, that might be sat on one of the joists, because back in the day when these were built, 50, 60 years ago, sometimes they just did build over wood. But therefore then we'd have to support it. But the only place we could go is if it was built up, it'd be into the loft space. So we've gone into the loft, had a look. It's actually a stud-work wall, and it must have some really thick, old, like cement render plaster. So therefore, it doesn't need supporting. Kind of great for the customer, because that means now instead of having to have a bit of a bulkhead steel dropping into the ceiling, we can now go all the way through and have it seamless, and the only steel that we're seeing in the roof space will be this massive one. So it's always good to investigate stuff rather than just think that because the drawings are there, it means they're right. Because sometimes, like this one, they're not. And now we can get away without having to put steel in and prop in that, which is good. It's good news.
So just got back from Northwich, and that is now Northwich ticked. So we've been to 7 estate agents in Northwich, and I've got a load of business cards. Ooh. A load of business cards. So I've got back, and yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I think it's always better to meet people face to face, just so they kind of know what they're dealing with. So yeah, I enjoy meeting new people as well. It's great, especially people who you could be working with in the future. So while I was there this morning, a deal landed on the table literally half an hour before I got there. So I'm getting that sent over this afternoon. So just shows you, turned up and literally deals landed. Well, a bit of land that could be of interest half an hour before I got there. So it's little things like that, you know, opportunities do come along. So yeah, like I say, just got back. I'm going to send a few emails now, and then just catch up with some paperwork really. Yeah, I think the lads think I just drive around and have coffees all day. I don't know why, because the amount of paperwork that I do now, and well, I wouldn't even say it's paperwork, it's more emails and more the laptop stuff now. It's just horrendous. So tomorrow I've got 2 meetings in a day, and then I'll be heading over to Crossfield to see how the lads are getting on. I will be also having a meeting with the client about possible wall that he wants to come out on the stairwell. We haven't got structural calcs for it yet because we weren't sure what the wall is, so I'm going to discuss that in further detail tomorrow, and then yeah, we'll have a decision on that. But yeah, everything's on schedule at the minute, so we've got the steel work going on the rest this week, possibly next week as well, and then we're going to start getting the first 6 lads in, so Matt and Phil. I think that is what week start now. That would be week commencing 27, so in about 2 weeks time. And then yeah, start getting everything plastered up then, ready for the kitchen. And yeah, they've got a baby as well coming in about a week and a half, which it's always good fun, but it's not our first time. We've worked at clients before where they've had a baby. I think the last one we did a job in Barnton in Northwich, and I think we just ripped the kitchen out. We were waiting for the kitchen to arrive, and the client had the baby with no kitchen. You know what? They were great. They managed it really well, and we tried our best to kind of, you know, barrier off the extension to the house. And they basically lived upstairs. You know, they had an air fryer and whatnot, and wow, they did amazing. So I'll crack on here, and I'll be back tomorrow.
So the roof's finally dried out. We had a bit of fog last night, which left a bit of water residue on the roof, so we had to wait for it to dry out. And then this afternoon now, we are rubbing down any bits of the fiberglass that might be sticking up that weren't just quite glued in. So we're just going to sand them down, trim all the edges back, and then just finish off around this window frame with an overlap of the fiberglass from the top down, just to seal it in completely nice and finish it off.
So it's Thursday, and I've done a bit of running around this morning. I've picked the top coat up from Witness, and I've just dropped it off at our Tarvin project, but the lads can't get it on. The temperature has now dropped again, so it was 0 when I was driving to Witness this morning, and now it's about 3. So when you're doing the top coat, it's got to be between 5 and 7 for at least a few hours for it to cure, and it's just not. So the lads are just going to crack on prepping for the steelwork today, and then we're going to get a top coat on when the weather warms up a bit. It's just one of them, it's that time of year, it's just everything's dead slow. So yeah, they're going to crack on with that. I've got to go look at a job in Acton Bridge, and then go back to the office and do a bit more paperwork. So yeah, that's the plan for today. Oh, as well, at Tarvin we've got potential customers coming around, so when I go look at a job, I always like the customers come have a look at our work. Now these did come have a look at one of our jobs last week in Kingsley, and I've said to them, do you want to come have a look at any of our projects, which is always good, and meet the lads. So they're going to come, I think about 1 o'clock I've said, so they're going to come to Tarvin, meet the lads, and just see how we work, see how we've organised the site, see how it's all fenced off, and yeah, just have a good old chat to make sure we're not cowboys. Yeah. So let's pass you on to Ben and see exactly what they're doing today.
Sometimes things don't go to plan with the weather and whatnot, so you always got to think, right, what else can we do until it gets warmer, or what needs doing. So this morning we've decided now that we're going to 50mm insulate the back of the stud-work wall that we did yesterday, just for when we do open up through here, that it keeps the client's house warm and stops any of the cold coming through, especially at this time of year. And with them now as well, we're also knocking through from the kitchen to the dining room, because as obviously we discovered yesterday, that it's not actually like a supporting structural wall, it just stops in the roof space. So yeah, starting to take that down, and in between that we'll start propping the inside skin of this wall, ready for this to start coming out either later today or tomorrow. So the lads this morning are taking down the internal skin of this wall. As it's all been propped now, as you've seen earlier in the video, been propped, so that's all secure. So they're going to take that skin down, so it forms the opening for the steel to go in. And I'm just now cutting out little pockets all the way along the outer skin, ready for the strong boards to go in. So I'm going to cut these pockets out ready. Steels are arriving this morning. Once we get them in place in here, then we can put the props in, and then all we have to do once it's out is lift it up. So we're just going to get cracking with that, and then hopefully dinner time, when the weather picks up a little bit warmer, we can get this roof top coated. And here's my mate Callum now.
Oh yes.
In a t-shirt, so he must be grafting because it's about 3 degrees and he's in a t-shirt. Bosh! Look jacked on that camera there.
That's it, mate.
Just a lean, mean football machine.
Yeah. Can't play now.
No, work's too busy. Carl's had to cancel his footy match.
Yeah. Cheers, Ant.
So they're probably going to lose because without him, he's the main man. So.
Class, like.
So it's breakfast day and I've just met the lads up at the cafe. So we've got a bit of an heavy lifting day today. We've got, as Ben mentioned this morning, the steels are getting delivered and each one weighs 330 kg, which is just heavy. It's heavy. The steels are getting heavy and heavier. I don't know why. The existing houses aren't getting heavier and heavier. Thank you. Them too, mate.
Cheers.
So yeah, the plan is today they're getting delivered. Yeah, cheers.
Is there any sauce?
I'm alright.
Tomato?
I'm alright, thanks.
Right, yeah.
So like I said, the steel's getting delivered today, and each one of the steels weighs 330 kg, which is heavy. The plan's going to be to roll it around the back, Egyptian style with the rollers, and then that will be all ready then to be lifted up Monday. So hopefully steels, get them in Monday and Tuesday, and then start taking the rest of the walls out the rest of the week. So yeah, that's the plan for today. We've also got Lee and the lads at Holton Rendering. Cheers, mate. At our Kingsley project, putting the top coat on the render.
No. Oh yeah.
So that's took, we've had to wait about 6 weeks to get that render on, just due to the weather before Christmas and now just getting warmer. So that top coat will be on today, and then over the weekend we're going to start getting all the downpipes on, and then that one isn't far off. So yeah, it's all looking good. Friday, it's a busy day. So yeah, that's it. Right, hold on, let's change this one up. No, it's alright. It's alright. Yeah, what was it? What's that? 1, 2, 3.
It's always a Friday.
It is.
It's always a Friday.
So that is another week done at Acura. First full week back in since the Christmas break, and obviously with the weather last week it was just a 3-day week, but been back in full 5 days and cracking on. We've had the new lad start. Alex, you probably see him on a few. Adam. All right, new lad Adam start this week. Well, yesterday. You probably see him knocking about on a few little bits of clips this week. Yeah, it's been a productive week really.
We got the first layer of resin on the roof.
Yeah.
That's ready for top coating now, so just waiting for it to warm up a little bit before we give that a blast.
So hopefully we get that done next week. Monday, the plan is get these monstrosity steels in.
Them
that you've seen.
big red things.
Absolute whoppers.
They're so heavy.
So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. and have a great weekend. Bosh.
We'll see you soon.